Yo, we're back with the Grimdark champion.
It is me. That's me.
What'd you win with today?
Jesmon, except not actually Jesmon. It's just Gankoomon with a slight bit of Jesmon.
Epic. Let's see it.
Oh. You play your 4 Security boys. Really, this deck is all about turboing into GX, so like this is better than Gurumon, and you run a shitload of consistency stuff. And I don't know, Gurumon's kind of cool, but you also don't want to bring out a 4 with this deck and swing and then have it die. Like that's kind of feels bad. You just kind of want to stack the stick. So Gurumon's kind of cool, but I don't think it's actually good for this deck unless you're playing a build that focuses on the 6 rather than the 7. But he's a good boy. You can pay 5 to go into your blitz, swing. You go to 4, summon a system on that gains your memory. You go on a 3, like you do a big play that doesn't actually cost you a whole heap of memory. So yeah, kind of cool. For the 3s, we've got 2 Searchy Boy. If this was more of a normal Jesmon deck, I would run more of this, but he misses Gankoomon, and that's kind of your linchpin in this whole deck. So yeah, if I haven't got Gankoomon yet, sometimes I'll even just put him in the stack because I'd rather just draw into Ganku, because yeah. But if you've already got a Ganku in hand, he's cool to find your missing pieces, but you could run it at 1, 2, 3, 0, it would still be fine. The actual good Huckmon. This boy is kind of broken. The all turns plus 1k is very relevant because Ganku and GX are both going to be pretty much blockers off turn all the time, and with decks like Examon or Greymon, things like that, every bit of DP can really count. Even against Arm Rush today, you know, they were getting up to 15, 17k, and making sure you're big enough to be able to block that. Pretty good. Also make sure things don't die security. So that's it for like kind of the good boys. Then you've got your control package, because this is probably a control deck more than anything really. 2 Gauss boys. This is honestly more for next format, but I've decided just to add it in now, stopping the reduction. It comes up a little bit against like Bloom Lord, things like that, but in reality this is going to be for Wargrey next set. Yeah, he's alright. I might bump it to higher amounts. We'll see how we go towards Nats. 4 Solary boys, because if you verse Blue Flare, you just want to commit Sudoku. That matchup is borderline impossible.
Yep.
If you can force them to pay 7 for Metal Greymons, then maybe you've got a chance, but I don't know. Your whole stuff's just stunned all day, so it is what it is. You kind of need it. And also, obviously, just Death X protection. So when you've got like 25 Systemons on the field, you want to make sure a Death X can't come down and eat them for free. Speaking of which, do Blanc Decoy, because drawing cards is very good.
True.
I know some builds run one of this. I couldn't agree with that. I think just ditch 1, draw 2 is very good. 2 Blocker Systemons. Like, I think this one at 1 could arguably be fine, but similar to Mastermons where they run 2 Lucimon, it's there to see it. You only need 1, but you need to have 2 so you actually see it.
Yeah.
But
Blocker good.
Blocker good, yeah. Blocker with big buffs and can't be reduced is good. Now we're moving to the 4s, but we'll just finish off the Systemon package. One of the CL from BT10. I find this does not come up all that often, so it's the only Systemon I'm comfortable running at 1. It happens here and there. It's the worst one of the set by a pretty large margin, but it still comes up enough that you still run the 1. Arguably the best Systemon, the CL from the Structure deck, gives the reboot to your Gankoomons, which is a big deal. So I'll go into it a little bit, but there's, you know, reboot's such a big thing with this, especially with the GX, but also with the Gankoomon. 2 Memory CL. It does what it does. Once again, it's really nice in those plays to gain back some memory after you commit a whole heap, and it's one of the main ones you'll use to make Chimeramon plays down the track. So that's it for the sister package. Continuing on, I take 1 Mechanorimon. You don't have to run this. I like it as a one-of simply because Commandramon can just sometimes, for example, just run you down super quick. And there's a few other decks that work similar. It's nice having 1 card that can buy you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns potentially if they're not out, or as Loz has had to do himself. I think we've had a game where you had to drop the Iron Fist,
yep.
8 memory just to kill this.
I've done it a couple of times now.
Yeah. So we've got 3 of the structure deck Bauhack. You could run this at 4. Like I chose to go 3 and 1 rather than 4. This is probably what you wouldn't run if you did. But I like the utility of 1. And also the black has a lot of synergy with like the decoy and whatnot.
Oh yeah, you can actually protect the Mechanori with that system.
Yep, as long as you've got a Royal Knight or a Hakumon on the field also.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that one, pretty much the exact same story as the level 3. It's just nice for having the extra attack. And it's purely matchup dependent. Some people like to say one's better than the other when it comes to the Bauhacks, which is going to be these guys next. I think they're just as good as each other, and it's literally just matchup dependent. So as soon as you know your matchup, assuming you have the choice for both of them, it's pretty easy. Oh, they've got lots of small things. This Bauhack's the way to go. Oh, it's big stack dot deck. You're going to go with the structure deck one. Pretty simple, but more often than not, it's the small stuff and helping remove like floodgates and things like that. So that's cool. And I've got one nice shiny boy. I hope to get more later. That is all the 4s that I run. 5s. Massive surprise. 4 Savior Huck. This is the good boy. The one Digivolving comes up here and there. Like that's more, you often combo that with the option card, but a lot of the time you miss that. I'm usually more than happy just to have this in raising to keep it safe, but yeah, sometimes it comes up. And the super broken inheritable that you abuse so much. There's games where I would have summoned anywhere from 5 to 15 Systemons in a grind game, all just off this effect. 2 Chimeramons obviously as well on that. I'm sure it's been said a million times, but using Systemons just to make a free Chimeramon. Ideally, you put one of these under the Chimeramon, and then from there you can just go into any of your 6s and kind of just go from there. I do not run the BT6 Savior Hakumon at this stage. In this particular build of the deck, I personally think it is terrible. You're not going for multiple swings, you're not getting multiple value, because only Jesmons summon Systemons every time they attack, so it's just not what you want in this deck.
It's better in Dorbrick now.
Yeah. So you've got the actual best card in this deck, Gankoomon X Antibody. Everything gets a buff, everything can't be bounced for the next 2 turns to hand or to deck. Summon a Systemon, like it's literally everything you want. You want to pair this with the reboot one, so for example you might go into the 5, swing over something unsuspended, summon this, put them to 4, summon the reboot one, get a search, and then it reboots, and then it's a blocker that's pretty hard to deal with. So yeah, that's pretty good. I run 1 copy of the structure deck Gankoomon. Sometimes de-digivolving is your only out to certain matchups. So de-digivolve, summon a sister or a Huck from trash, pretty good, and digivolves up to 2 things actually. And then it's particularly nice because it's one of the few synergies where you can just go over this for 1, then you get to summon another Systemon, then you get the protection, and also it means the GX swings for 1 extra. Now, it's not good enough that you'd run multiples of this, but it's nice as a one-off to tech. As you say, like for example Examon, it's a big thing. Dealing with the Examon itself can be a pain in the ass, but if you can de-digivolve it, usually can fix your problems. To round that up, this is quite top heavy. 2 Jesmon X Antibody. I used to run just 1 of each of these. Once again, I'm starting to rev this up for BT11, where having this to bash into Wargreymon stacks is going to be more relevant. However, in the meantime, it's come up a lot today. It's kind of nice when you can go into this for 3 rather than the 4. If you're going to go into a GX anyway, it's just 1 more memory, more efficient. And attacking unsuspended stuff can sometimes really gain you a lot of advantage, so not much else to say. He's very good. But this is the goodest boy.
Yeah.
7s, because this deck's just so greedy. So 1 Death X, because card's really fair. And then 3 GXs. So first of all, Death X, nice against Swarmy decks, of course. Massive IQ plays, of course, no one's thought of that, I'm sure. But one of the neat little synergies is that you can Digivolve for 6 over your Ganku in a tight spot. Usually, if you have to do that, you're in a pretty shit spot.
Yeah, but they could have like Solemn 1 out.
It comes up. Any deck that runs purple or black level 6s, it is nice. It is a nice little synergy that in a tight spot where they've got like 3 or 4 Digimon on the field, but no tamers, and you got to pay like a fair bit for it. You might just say, oh, 6 is worth it, clear the board.
Yeah.
Yes, all the good inheritance are turned off, but maybe that's what you need to do. GX, this card is beyond broken. you almost every time with this deck want to be putting a Ganku X on it. The idea with this deck is you're doing this for your one turn to set up protection, build the board. Next turn you're going to go GX, put another one under, summon another system on, swing for like 3 to 4 checks, and then you've got another 2 turns of protection. And usually your opponent's just had to sit through 4 turns of not being able to deal with most of your monsters, whilst there's a swarm of systemons on the field, and you've had most of your securities checked. This guy's got piercing, he's got blocker. Ideally, you're going to have the systemon with reboot out, so he's going to be a 19 plus K blocker that your opponent has to deal with. So if you survive, the first 2 or 3 turns and your draws aren't horrendous, it's pretty hard to lose from that point of view, but it can happen. And then literally your last 4 cards, Master Disciple. Also another equally probably best card of the deck. It's what you just always want to see at the start. It does everything. It searches, it gets things in trash, which this deck loves, adds you good stuff, and then reduces your Digivolution costs later on. So, yeah, and that'll stack. So sometimes you bring up a 4, you've only got 1 memory, ditch 2 of these, go into the 5, draw, swing over an unsuspended thing, and then, Ganku after that, put them to 4, summon something, reboot, and suddenly you're back in charge. So, I don't know, deck's really cool. I really like it, and I've always liked those monsters BT7, so big deck.
Hell yeah. Congrats again, King.
Thanks, man.